What's up, guys? Welcome back to Magic Hour episode 6, I believe. The last episode, I did do Bilbo Thief in the Night, and I know that probably want to be looking at another commander from the Hobbit set, and I'm working on that. I want to give it the proper love, but I kind of wanted to go back through as I was searching through my decks, wanted to go to something that is kind of Hobbit slash Lord of the Rings themed, which is Bilbo Birthday Celebrant, which is from Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle Earth set, so we'll get into that. He is a Abzan, white, black, and green. For a 2-3, if you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. But what you want to really focus in on and build the deck around is going to be his mana ability, which is 2 white, black, green. Tap him, exile him, send him back to the command zone. Search your library for any number of creature cards, any number at all. Then put them onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. Activate only if you have 111 or more life, like that little note back to the OG series where we first meet him there. Now, something that is not necessarily a creature, and Planeswalkers I know are looked down upon, but I think they should be utilized a little bit better. It's going to be a Johnny, Mentor of Heroes, is really the only one I want to focus in on out of the two. You want to really look at his ult, which is going to be -8, you gain 100 life. Even if, like, hey, you finally build him up to 8, the next turn, bam, you ult him, you don't want to keep him around. He's not really a big support. Like, he's a pretty good support for the deck, but he's not the ultimate one. Now, the other 4 or 5 creatures I want to pay attention to are going to be Archangel of Thune. He is 3, 2 white, or she, sorry, is 2 white for a 3/4 flying lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So build up your creatures, pump them up as best you can. Try to keep your board a little protected while you're trying to do other things as well, but it's also good to play later in the game. Now, you also want to have a life gain, life drain side of the deck, starting with Enduring Tenacity for 2 and 2 black for a 4/3. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life, and then whenever it dies, it comes back as an enchantment. So you still got that enchantment sitting around. I believe that's just like Sanguine Bond, the cheaper out of an infinite combo, and I'll get to that later. You also want little easy stuff like Essence Warden and Soul Warden, which do exactly the same thing, but one's for green, one's for white. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. And I will say something I left out of other, like some of my, like, digging through, making an outline, be like, all right, I want to talk about these things, is going to be Lathiel the Bounteous Dawn, 2 green and white for a 2/2 life link. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, distribute up to that many +1/+1 counters among any number of other target creatures. And before I could even get to Bilbo's strategy, Lathiel was the thing that was pumping up everything I had, and it was amazing and totally worth the win. The final creature I kind of want to focus in on for sure is going to be Feldar Sovereign for a 4/6 for 4 and 2 white. Vigilance lifelink. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 40 or more life, you win the game. You're going to want to have those ever so much life win cons for that easy win. If you just want to walk out of there before you can even get the creature thing to go off, that's pretty good. And also a little backup plan just in case you can't get stuff off the ground that quick. By turn 3, you'll be able to get this guy out. Sam, Loyal Attendant. He is a 2/4. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a food token. Activated abilities of foods you control cost 1 less to activate. So that's pretty great in my opinion. A little bit of building it up. And Treebeard as well is going to be great. A little bit of flavor there, but a little bit of the life gain benefits. Is going to be a 0/5 for 2 and a white and green. Trample Ward 2. Whenever he enters, create 2 food tokens. Whenever you gain life, put that many +1/+1 counters on target halfling or tree folk, which is a little tricky because you can only have a up to total of 3 targets, which is going to be Treebeard himself, Sam, and Bilbo. Because flavor-wise, there was some stuff that could work pretty well, probably stuff like Delighted Halfling and things like that, but I just kind of wanted to focus in on, I want this deck to work pretty well. It is only technically bracket 3 at the moment and $713 though, so key cards in here. I will say the 4 sorceries that I want to pay attention to are going to be Debt to the Deathless, X, 2 white, 2 black. Each opponent loses 2 times X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So, pretty good stuff there. Lots of life drain. Demonic Tutor, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle. Classic, classic, 2 and a black. Totally a classic card, but what you're going to go for this, instead of like some big bad creature or something like that, you're going to want to maybe go for one of your win cons, one of the pieces you're looking for to get you to the finish line. And I would say that's going to be the second win con that I have, not Feldar Sovereign. I'd go for the other one, and I'll get to that in a bit. Exsanguinate, absolute classic in black. X to black. Each opponent loses X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. Great card as well. I say I don't understand why it's only like 30 cents more expensive than Debt to the Deathless, but I guess it's because of the contribution of the white pips that you're also having to pay for. And then board wipes are going to be pretty crucial as well, keeping the board clear. That way there's no reason for your opponents to swing at you because they have no way to do so. But Fumigate is going to be the best out of all of them. 3 and 2 white, destroy all creatures. You gain 1 life for each creature destroyed this way. 1 life for each creature. Kaya's Wrath's a little different. 2 white, 2 black, destroy all creatures. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you controlled that were destroyed this way. So something to just kind of keep in mind for that is just 1 is only for your creatures, 1 is for all creatures. So I believe Fumigate is the better of the 2, but still cheap cards. Budget is definitely good for this deck. Congregate is going to be one of your cool instants. 3 and a white. Target player gains 2 life for each creature on the battlefield. That's not even a pillow fort type thing. It is just a, hey, I'm just recognizing you guys got creatures and I got creatures, and let me just benefit off of them. Or you could offer it up to somebody else, but probably not with this deck. You want to try to keep yourself pretty well protected in the life category. You also got Riot Control. You gain 1 life for each creature your opponents control. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. So, pretty good stuff, And there's a lot of good other stuff that's good interaction, but not really got that kind of time to get into these pieces. I'm going to say artifacts and enchantments. The numbers aren't incredibly high in my opinion, but they're definitely crucial. I'm going to have Aetherflux Reservoir is going to be at the front with 4 whenever you cast a spell. You gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. Pay 50 life. Aetherflux Reservoir deals 50 damage to target creature or player. So say you're right there at being able to activate Bilbo's ability. You're just over maybe 100 life, like 103 life or something like that. And somebody says, all right, I'm going to take him off the board. Well, then you say, all right, I'm going to take you and another player off the board completely, handing the win basically to the third guy in his 4-man pod. So you can do that kind of move as well. You also got Cosmos Elixir, as well as Well of Lost Dreams. Both, whenever you gain life, you're going to be able to benefit by drawing cards, or with Cosmos Elixir, if you're kind of lower than 40, which is not going to be pretty common for this deck, but if you are lower than 40, it's going to give you 2 life instead of drawing your cards. So you will be able to easily get back up to a card draw status. Panharmonicon is 4. If an artifact or creature enters the battlefield, causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So that's pretty great. It's almost like a life doubler sort of situation, but not necessarily. It's a little different, and I love that. So ability going off multiple times. Now, here's a life doubler that is pretty great. 4 and a white. Boon Reflection. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. So it's every time you're going to gain even a single life, you're going to gain 2 life instead of that. So total life doubler, great. Cleric class is great for the early on game. Anytime I've goldfished this deck and I've gotten Cleric class in either the first hand or the first couple of cards I drew, like turn 1, turn 2, it is so good. Exquisite Blood is half of an infinite combo. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life, and then with Sanguine Bond, whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. And you already got like half of the win con already there, as long as you can get Exquisite Blood out and say you have Veto or you have Enduring Tenacity. Great stuff. So you can walk right into that win for sure. That infinite combo is right there at your fingertips. Leyline of Hope is pretty great. Any of the ley lines is, opening hand is a great play. It's a free play. Life Gift is the only thing currently that I'm thinking about cutting, maybe putting in a Soul Ring instead, so that I could play things a little earlier, such as the second win con, which I'm about to get into. But Life Gift, whenever a land comes into play, you may gain 1 life. Landfall, that's the only card that's a theme here. Like, it just doesn't fit, but I kind of had just help thrown it in for a little bit extra, a little bit of just like background, like, hey, if I get my land drops, with 34 lands, I could potentially be able to hit most of my land drops. But it is a $16 card, so it's not like a, hey, if it's not crucial, cut it. That's just how I think with deck building. Now, here's the second one con, the thing that I would use Demonic Tutor for, which is Test of Endurance, 2 and 2 white. It's just a little bit harder to get enchantment removal, in my opinion. But it is an enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. If you have 50 or more life, you win the game. So it's a little bit higher of the life tax of like, hey, you got to be at least 10 above where you started your life total. Or if you're doing one-on-one, then you got to be 20 above where you started at in order for this win con to pay off. So just something like out of the two, I would definitely go for Test of Endurance. And if you got a Soul Ring, you play that Soul Ring turn 3, you can have Test of Endurance out, and once you get up to that 50 or more life, if someone hasn't removed it, bing, bang, boom, you win the game. Pretty quick game, and that's what we play Commander for, right? Is quick games. So this is a, in my opinion, pretty balanced mana base. I'll drop the link to the deck list in the description, as always. Mana curve looks pretty good. Mana production looks pretty good. This is definitely a favorite deck of mine. Will I be paying $713 for it? Not at the current moment. But I definitely plan on trying to play it as soon as possible and as much as possible. Maybe get it on Arena. Maybe do some tabletop simulator type stuff. But that's just kind of where I'm at right now. Like I said, next week I'm going to be trying to do the Hobbit set. Like something from the Hobbit set. I've done Bilbo Thief in the Night, and probably next week I'll do something related to the Thandral card, or maybe some dwarves or something like that. Maybe some dwarves. I'm a bigger red player than I am like a Selesnya or Temur type player. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week for another episode. Thank you guys so much. I've seen the views pick up a little bit, even though it's like maybe 4 or 5 of you guys. I'm so happy to someone's listening out there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.